Boom! We are live, people, at Albert JTV headquarters and Holly's Hotspurs headquarters. Somehow, the Lionesses find their way into another final, people. But before we get into it, let's smash the intro. England Lionesses find a way. You could even call it the Italian job. Either way, England are into the Euro 2025 final. Michelle the Truth Agyemang and Chloe the X Factor Kelly lit the touch paper for England's remarkable victory. Serena Wiegmann's 5th consecutive final as a head coach. Hashtag stunning record. Can the resilient Lionesses retain their title? And there you have it, people. Boom, what an intro into another collaboration with me, Albert JTV, and Holly's Hotspurs for our quadruple collaboration together. Holly, we're used to making finals, you know. We're getting used to it now. The men's, the women's. Mind you, we've had 2 losses though, so it's not really that great, is it? But hopefully we'll put it right. Hopefully we'll put it right on Sunday. But people, smash the likes for Holly's Hotspurs and Albert JTV. We have super guest alert in town. I call her Queen Nicolau. Sophie Nicolau, welcome back to me and Holly's joint collaboration. England are in a final. How are you, Soph?
I'm doing well. And I'm really happy for Holly because she finally, can't say it. Damn, there I was, had to stop myself. Coming off hot from winning the Europa League. What am I going to tease Holly about now? I don't know. Well, Premier League status, perhaps. But yes, it's good to be here, you two. And I don't know what this England team are trying to do to all of us, but let me tell you, it's not nice. It's not very nice.
No, it's not so. Sophie, it's a pleasure to get you on. When we was messaging each other, obviously, yesterday during the game, man, some frank exchanges. Obviously, when things went well, we said, I've got to get Sophie on. So I know we haven't got you for long as well. But people, audio listeners, will go on Spotify and Apple. So look out for that, please. Sophie, let me kick off. Yeah, I've had a good night's sleep just about after watching that game yesterday.
For you?
One good thing it didn't go to the penalties, but sort of straight off the bat, really. We'll talk about the game, but what's your sort of overriding emotion after that game yesterday?
Yeah, it's so weird because as an Arsenal fan, you're kind of conditioned to these topsy-turvy moments. And we've definitely had a few of those over the last few years. This England team, I don't know what their personality is this tournament. I think what the personality has become is survivors. And, as I hear the Rocky, Eye of the Tiger theme tune thumping in my head right now, as I say that out loud, there seemed to be an identity to the Serena teams that have reached the 2 previous finals. And yeah, they've always been tenacious and they've always been able to kind of fight back and defend well. But there was a little flair and pizzazz, I thought, especially to the Euros winning team. Maybe that was playing in front of the home crowd. But this team is just purely in survival mode. They've never really, other than the Netherlands match, they've not taken a game and been commanding from the get-go. But tournament play is different. This isn't 38 games in a league. This is a manager who knows how to get a team to a final, a manager who knows how to win. Now you have players who've been there before, who can guide the younger players, who know what it takes to manage that process and peak at the right time, play the right type of football, never lose hope or faith in a game. And one of the things I think that is defining their personality is even in the last second of a game, England can score a goal. And that puts fear in the opponents. And I think that's what happened to the Italians last night. As much as they tried with the gamesmanship and the dark arts, they did that because in the back of their minds, they knew this team could strike at any moment.
No, great stuff, Sophie, man. Holly, coming to you. I know you're going to pose a question, but I want to quickly sort of come to you, really. What's your thoughts going into the semi-final? Because it's not that I didn't think England had a good chance of winning. I think we spoke on one of the previous shows that England have to be careful because I think Italy have scored first in all their games in the tournament to that point. And going forward, they're quite a tricky and dangerous side. So, what was your sort of thoughts coming into that semi-final?
Yeah, I think it's kind of the same as what we spoke about before in terms of we had to be ready for it because we kind of knew, like you said, that they've scored first every single kind of game they've played, and we couldn't be naive to it. And obviously, God forbid, they scored first. So I kind of want to go on to what Sophie was saying, and the fact that this team just never give up. So regardless of when we went down, I kind of had in the back of my mind, it's fine. We've been in this position before. We'll come back again. And the biggest thing for me, and I know Sophie just touched on it, was the fact that obviously the dark arts were running rife and it was winding me up so much. And it was the fact that obviously the players, you could see it was getting to them, but they still managed to keep their cool, still managed to go, if we keep battling on, we're going to get something out of it. And luckily we did. And I'm so looking forward, obviously, so pleased for the team, so pleased for Serena going through to that final. And it just shows that hard work, persistence will always pay off. And there's a real togetherness in this squad. And I think that kind of turns my attention to you, Soph, in terms of obviously we've slightly touched on obviously working our socks off, never giving up. But I think there's one player that hasn't necessarily got a lot of limelight in this tournament. I think she deserves a lot of props, and that is Hemp, because I think all game yesterday, she just played her socks off, didn't she?
Yeah. We were talking in our WhatsApp group with Albert. There's always unsung heroes in a team, and rightly so. Ajamang and Chloe Kelly are going to steal the headlines. I thought Beth Mead had a grafty performance when she came on. Didn't do too much, but did the most important thing at the end of the match and, won the team the penalty. But I love unsung heroes. And yesterday, Serena took a gamble and she subbed quite a few big time players. And, Hemp just kept grafting and grinding, and she never gave up, showed leadership, and for me, was one of the best players yesterday. And when you think about the fact that she still had to check, because I was like, is she 25 now? She's still 24. And she has those leadership qualities. And she's one of those players that can play really pretty football, and we've seen that, but she can also get down and dirty. And yesterday against the Italian team that really were putting it on thick with the gamesmanship, I thought that she held really well and was the glue that kind of kept, and in a time where Lucy Bronze didn't have her best game, and you needed someone with a little bit of muscle to step up. Her, Ella Toon, I thought as well, unsung heroes. But yeah, Lauren Hemp for me yesterday was the unsung player of the match.
No, you know what, Sophie, great shot, because we spoke about this yesterday, and I always make this point. I've always said it since I probably had YouTube, to be honest with you. I'll never forget is when England played in the Men's World Cup in 2006. And Owen Hargreaves, Sophie, you might remember.
Oh my God, what a player, by the way.
His performance in extra time in that game against Portugal.
Masterful.
I've never seen anything like that from an England player. And that's what I mean when me and Sophie spoke yesterday, and Demi, that Hemp and Toon in that 2 periods of extra time were superb. And I'm so glad you brought them up in terms of unsung heroes. I thought they were magnificent when bodies were getting tired and the game was at a knife edge. But Sophie, sort of coming back to you.
Real quick before you move on, did you see when the penalty celebration started?
Yeah.
I don't know if Toon was just so exhausted and she was crying in the huddle. I don't know what happened, but it was like Chloe Kelly got the goal, got the thing. You messaged me and I thought Toon scored, and you were like, oh my God, Toon. But the way the players went around her, I don't know if I was seeing things, but it was almost like, I don't know what that moment was about, but it was a moment. And Chloe Kelly was kind of like shushing the crowd, and all the other players were like hugging Toon. It was really bizarre, but wonderful. Sorry.
Yeah, it was no, it's all right, Sophie. No, so coming back to you, really. Holly, Sophie spoken in our group chat in terms of how England are managing the games, i.e. Serena making the substitutions. Because I was voice noting Sophie, voice noting Kenny Ken. I said, what the bloody hell she waiting for? And there's 2 players that have, we spoke about it before, Holly, in the previous show, when England were described as in this tournament, they've been resilient, they've been lucky, but they've also, and their super subs have got them to a final. And so, if I've got to talk about, obviously, I call her Chloe, the X Factor Kelly, and Michelle the Truth Ajiman. Big up Demian for saying that. Sophie, what's your thoughts on these two? Because they're just unbelievable, to be honest.
So I know that the knee-jerk reaction when you have two players who've had that type of impact coming off the bench is going to be start them. You've got to start your best players. Well, this is true. You have to start your best players in any game, right? But you also want to leave in your back pocket game-changing players, right? So you can affect the match. And as much as I was screaming down the WhatsApp to you, blowing your eardrums off and throwing things at the TV to Serena Wiegman, who, you know, let's face it, knows what she's doing.
Does know what she's doing, yeah.
I did feel, I'm going to criticize Arteta for bringing Waneri on in a semi-final of the Champions League when you need a goal scorer and he's giving him 4 minutes. If we're going to criticize Gareth Southgate for, you know, making lackluster subs, then she deserves the criticism. And I thought last night she had run the road at the end of the luck road. I did not see, I was messaging Albert, I'm like, no, I don't see it, not coming back from this, no way. And of course, football makes fools of all of us. And in particular with Michelle, she gave her 10, was it 8?
Less than that, 5 minutes.
85th minute? Yeah.
Yeah.
And Chloe Kelly, 15 maybe? Yeah. And Beth Mead, of course, got the half. But how can you argue when you win? Now, if England hadn't won, I think the criticism coming her way would have been fierce. And I said to Albert, I don't know what her contract looks like, but 3 tournaments, you know, there are going to be some idiots who'll be calling for her head because she's made poor subs timing wise and she has not been, you know, giving the team a chance with more time in the game. But these two players, I wouldn't start them against Germany or Spain. I would do exactly the same thing. I might give Beth a go from the beginning. I think Beth Mead is more of a time player. She needs time. She's not going to be an Ajamang and Chloe Kelly. I can come on and make something happen in seconds, right? I think Beth marinates in a game, but I would definitely start Beth Mead. But these two, I would keep them under wraps, and if need be, bring them on with much more time. Chloe Kelly, as an Arsenal fan as well, seeing these two shine and boss these Euros for England has been nothing short of just magical and sensational. The impact Chloe Kelly had in the previous game with the 2 crosses in the space of 3.5 seconds was unreal. The confidence, this is the difference, right? There are some players out there who play with trepidation. There are some players out there who play fearful versus fearless. I like that a lot. I use that a lot when I talk about the Arsenal men. But these two come on and they're fearless. They don't care. They believe so much in what they could do to change the game that it just infuses confidence across the rest of the side. And you saw the energy go up. You looked like players who were going to fall down, pick themselves up. And before you knew it, boom, these 2 queens and one superstar in the making. She will get endorsements. She's the next face of English football. And Chloe Kelly right now, who didn't have a good time at City, came back to Arsenal, rejuvenated her career, has been a star for England, though, and England fans haven't forgotten that. And the way they responded to her when she came on the pitch was a beautiful thing. I think you'll see Chloe become a great ambassador for this team. I think you'll see her getting a ton of endorsements. She'll be popping up on commercials on ITV. And, you know, fans just absolutely love and adore her. So, brilliant stuff from the two of them. And what a weapon for the gaffer to have in the final.
Yeah, as Serena calls them, her finishers. So, how long we got you for? Have you got to go?
I got a couple of minutes. I just wanted to answer this question from NS Sports before you. Question for Sophie: if England and Cyprus face each other, who are you backing? Oh my God! I don't know if you kids, you're probably too young to have seen the movie Sophie's Choice, right? Where, you know, stuff happens and she's got to give up one of her kids. It's horrific. This decision might be a little bit easier than that. I've got to go for the motherland. I've got
Of
to go
course
for
you
the
have to.
KO beer and the souvlaki. That's how I'm going to roll. But the beautiful thing is if I win at the end, because the country that gave me and my family the most amazing life and the country that gave us everything, our culture, I win in every single scenario there. So I hope that's a good answer for you.
So if it is, I had the same dilemma when me and Holly did the collaboration for the World Cup when England played Nigeria. That was not a good game to watch. But so if you make a great point, and Holly has bring you in, I've listened to Helen Ward, who's the head of women's football at Watford, and she made a great point, Sophie and Holly. She said with Michelle Ashley-Mang, she wouldn't start her, and you also have to remember she actually hasn't played that many games with 90 minutes. I was like, wow, actually, you know what? You make a good point, because at Arsenal, we sent her out on loan to Brighton, and she's not had a lot of football in terms of game per 90, which is a brilliant point. It ties into what Sophie was saying.
She's hungry, though.
Yeah. And Holly, come in and sort of make another great point as well, in terms of what Sophie, off the back of what Sophie was saying. If you go back to the Euros in 2022, Toon and Russo featured in all 6 matches, all from the bench. Russo scored 4 goals. Toon scored 2, including 1 in the final. So maybe Serena might just know what she's talking about. Come in, Holly.
Right, I think that's right. I mean, like I say, I was pulling my hair out when I was thinking, actually, she's made a sub at half time. We're getting there. And I was waiting for the next one, waiting. But I think I've just got to the point now. I'm just going to let her do what she wants, because she clearly knows what she's doing. I haven't got a clue. So be it. But no, it is really, really exciting, and the fact that obviously Ashley-Mann's only 19, it's really annoying that obviously Chloe Kelly and Ashley-Mann are doing bits for England and they play for Arsenal. But that's another conversation, the whole sort of thing. But
Holly, when she hit the bar, oh my God.
I know,
great kick by Hampton, by the way. And by the way, Hannah Hampton made a very key save. Maybe
oh my God. It was a double save. The first one was by default, but the second one was unreal. Holly, did you think, that crossbar moment? When I watched Michelle play, I feel the same way I did when Michael Owen played in the World Cup and had that game against Argentina. She is, and imagine, right, being a defender and you've defended your guts out for like 80 minutes, and then you look to the sideline, you're like, holy cow, the total beast players coming on. And then you look and it's like, oh God, Chloe Kelly's coming on too. That's what Serena needs to do a little sooner. But when you see those defenders and they think they've done their job, prematurely, a little bit of celebration by the Italians as well, learn that lesson. And then you look on the sideline and you see you've absolutely gutted their soul. You've taken their football soul from them.
Definitely. I don't think I could have put it any better. And I think that's right. And it is like you say, we need to keep them as our secret weapon, because it's worked so far this whole tournament. So why change it when it's got us to a final? But yeah, it will be interesting, that final. Obviously, that game kicks off in a little bit of time. Between
6 minutes, man. We've got 6 minutes.
6 minutes. So that being said, obviously you've got to play the best to beat the best. But who would you prefer to play in the final if you could choose?
All right, this is a great question. I said to Albert, and I don't know if it was on this show or on Albert's, I don't know, but it was to Albert on air somewhere at the beginning of the tournament. I said, no one's talking about Germany.
Yeah, he did say that.
I felt like even though they were a team in transition, they've still got some really good, experienced players, and they're very well coached. It's really a difficult one, because do you want to deal with the low block? Do you want to deal with that type of resiliency, or do you want to deal with a free-flowing Spain side that will make a mistake and give you an opportunity on the counter? Having beaten Germany in the previous final, you would lean towards that way. The Arsenal players, having taken the soul of the Barcelona players in the Champions League, they will fancy their chances against the world's best and Ballon d'Or winners as well. I think this England team doesn't care who they're going to face. I think they've got a manager who's going to have them really prepared well. But if I had to pick one, I would go for Germany. I just think they've got more vulnerabilities, and Spain are playing a little bit hurt, their players. So, yeah, I would lean towards an England-Germany final.
Yeah, Holly, so coming back, it's a tough one, Sophie, because it's the physicality of Germany and the way Spain keep the ball. And England do have to play better. But then I think to myself, when Greece won Euro 2004,
Yes!
they were a very functional side. And even that Portugal side that won the Euros with Ronaldo, some of their games were absolutely terrible to watch. Actually, all of the games were terrible to watch, even the final. But so there is a way to, there's more ways, there is more than one way to skin a cat. So if England don't play brilliant on Sunday and win, who cares? But the reality is, like I mentioned before, they've got through resilience and by their subs. So at some point, they're going to have to knit together a performance that is going to get them
we've
over
been
the line.
saying that. We've been saying that. But
I know.
it's the same thing with like Leicester. Now they can't do it every week. They just can't do that every week. Well, they did. And it's the same thing with Greece. Oh,
Yeah,
they can't do that every game. They
Yeah.
just can't. And by the way, that team, very underappreciated, disrespected. They had a game plan and they stuck to it. And they
executed
won.
brilliantly.
And they executed brilliantly. And I'm sorry, some of the teams they beat along the way and the players that they played
twice.
against, come on, man. France and the Czech Republic and that Portugal
twice.
team twice. So this England team can do it. And there are moments where you think performance goes out of the window, results are what matter. And what matters is you win another trophy like that.
Oh.
And by the way, what does that say about the legacy already of players like, you know, Toon and Williamson and Hemp and Russo? And I mean, they want to talk about knighting and daming, you know, sports people. You're going to knight the mayor of London. You better knight Leah Williamson, you know, make her a dame of whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, this would be unbelievable, an unbelievable achievement.
Yeah, and actually, massive shout out to Serena Wiegmann. I thought it was 4 consecutive finals. It's 5.
Lady Wiegmann.
Unbelievable. But before we're not going to stay long because obviously we've got a game to watch. But before we wrap up with Ollie, so Ollie might have another question. But before we wrap up, people, let's have one more time for the evening a quick intro to subscribe to Albert JTV Holly's Hotspurs. There you have it, people. Funky surround music to subscribe to Albert JTV and Holly's Hotspurs if you feel like it. If you watch on the Arsenal page, if you watch on the Tottenham page, you might feel like watching subscribing to my channel. Well, you might do. I'm not going to try and force it down your throat, but yeah.
Are you guys doing a North London pre-season watch along? Are you?
No, we're not.
Don't think we can hack that.
No, me and Holly are definitely not doing that. But people, subscribe to the amazing hybrid squad, my amazing guest Sophie, Nicolau. One more question, I guess. Really, you kind of touched it, Sophie, but I'm going to raise it again. The only change I would probably make, it's going to be tough because Esme Morgan come in and done really well. She's not played a lot of games for England. She's actually a lot quicker across the ground than what I thought she was. I definitely would start Beth. That means obviously Lauren James. I don't know what her state of injury is at the moment, but I actually wouldn't start her. I think she's obviously tried to play her way into the tournament. And again, that's another one you can bring off the bench as well. But
yeah. Other than that goal, I don't think she's done much. I'm sorry, that might be harsh. Other than that really great goal, I don't know if she's done that much. She's had 2 or 3 good highlights.
Mm-hmm.
She's a good weapon to come off the bench.
I
wouldn't start her. If Williamson feels good, she starts. There's no, you know.
Does Morgan start for you again?
Sorry, say that again.
Does Esme Morgan start for you again?
Yeah, keep it the same. Yeah. I mean, Beth Mead is the only change I would make.
Yeah.
And you've got enough talent to weave around what's happening. Tactically, very different matchups, right? Spain and Germany. And you're going to need the physicality like you said and Holly said with the Germans and stuff like that. And she won't change much. You've seen her. She's kept, you know, she took Beth out after that first game. She stuck to it, right? And I think if she makes one tweak, she brings Beth back. But other than that, no changes. Just roll the dice. Keep going as you are.
Yeah. Well said, Sophie. Queen Nicolau, people, as people know from Albert JTV. Holly, we've got one more show after this. It's been a play, but hopefully England can get over the line and retain their title, which would be absolutely astronomical for football in this country. Be amazing. But listen, we've got one more show to go. Big up to people for watching live, and when you watch it back on the catch up. Absolutely obliterate the like button for both channels and subscribe to our channels as well. But Holly, see us out, please, and as I'll do the intro.
There we go. But no, it's been a lovely evening tonight. Just set a win, obviously, and through to the final. Looking forward to the last one. Sophie, it's been awesome to have you on. Albert, as always, doing your thing. And until next time, come on, England.
Over and out, people. Come on, England.